Hello people of the internet, welcome. I am KICdude, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit something different for you, for most of you guys. A lot of people usually, when I look at my channel and I see that they see topics of like very serious things, and I thought, maybe we should take it a little bit to the side for now. It's getting a little depressing, I will say, because a lot of the topics I talk about are very, very sad and not at all productive. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. So what I'm going to talk about is why anime is actually very, very good for us to be looking into and divulging. You see, there's like a culture around anime, and even just regular fandoms as it is. Just being in a fandom itself, whether you're in an anime fandom, whether you're like in a TV show, crime drama fandom, anything, any type of whether you are deep into it or you feel like something is happening with yourself or something, you, by an extension, are that kind of person. You're a fan. You do that stuff so you can feel better, and you search that kind of stuff out. Now, why is being having this kind of fandom a good thing? And a lot of people see it's like addiction to TV or kind of something like that. But to be honest with you, it's really not. If you're watching TV for 30 minutes at a time once a week, you're not addicted at all. The problem becomes when you are watching multiple shows to try to catch up. That's when it becomes difficult. Like, for sake of example, I have never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones. I know there's something about dragons in it, and I'm very interested, but I've never actually had the time to devote to actually watch it. But on the other hand, I do watch a lot of anime. I watch anime that takes itself very, very seriously, and anime that's definitely a goof anime. You can tell which ones they are. They don't have to tell you exactly which ones they are, but there are anime that they take themselves seriously. They have a serious track in mind, and then there's anime that not really. They don't take themselves that seriously. They take themselves a little bit more of a they're a little bit more like, let's say, a funny anime, if you would say. I would say it's like an offbeat anime. And if that's your bag, go ahead. But I will say that I have just recently watched two different anime series, and one of them, I kind of stuck with me. Right now, I just finished watching Al Noah Zero. Beautiful series, finished exactly the way I thought it would. And I will say that the entire series is very, very well structured. It does seem, though, at the end of the first season that I guess the studio didn't think they would make a second season. But, they were proven wrong. There was an exorbitant check coming their way, and they had to make something up. But, it's very well crafted. It's a very well crafted series that, from opening to finish, it never feels like it's out of place or even mal-paced. It's very, very well structured. And that's some of the things that I think some anime fall into the trap of. Having too much world building and not enough in your face, or not enough actually telling you what's going on. Let's say, for sake of example, the Gundam series. The Gundam series spans for years and years and years through so much world building that it becomes so dense so that if you don't begin at the actual beginning, you're lost. It's difficult because I know somebody who's watched the entire Gundam series, and from start to finish, all of them, all the extended cuts, everything, every single movie that's ever existed, that's been translated, or at least subtitled in English, and he has told me that it's crazy because you get so addicted to the series because it's well crafted, but at the same time there's so many spin-offs that sometimes that spin-off density becomes something necessary to the canon, and that's the worst sentence I've ever had to say. So just bear in mind that is something that happens. So what is the ideal structure for you? Let's say, for example, you have no time like me to find, you find an anime that's like 17 seasons long, and you're like, oh, Jesus, all of these episodes are like 30 minutes. What do I do? What you do is you sit down, you sort yourself out, and you tell yourself, is it necessary, or do I have the amount of time? If yes, go ahead and watch it. The second thing is, once you start watching it, are you disinterested immediately? If it is, then it's a good sign that anime probably is not for you, or that you have to watch 2 or 3 episodes to figure it out. Now, that could be the second one could be the option, and they could sucker you in. In that case, you found your new season. You found your new holy grail. Congratulations. But if you don't have the time, and you see that there is a 14 season show in which you can only watch maybe half a season, maybe per week, then you can probably do what I did and look for a 2-season show that had 24 episodes total, and each one was 30 minutes. And I did that, and I did it through spring break, because in spring break I have like 2 or 3 days where I can take a break, especially for me, since I had tonsillitis last week and I was able to, effectively watch an anime from start to finish and not get lost, not have like a 30-month, hiatus of me watching this. Like, for example, I've started watching Gurren Lagann, something about the similar to Alt Noah Zero, but for whatever reason, I watched all of Alt Noah Zero before I finished watching Gurren Lagann. And I will say, Gurren Lagann, it does have that aesthetic, and it is definitely 100% a goofy anime, but for whatever reason I ended up watching Alt Noah Zero. Why? Who knows why? I'll let that decision be up to you. But it is one ridiculous anime, but I watched a serious anime about the same topic. They're almost identical. They're fighting robots. So why is it that I watched Alt Noah Zero all the way through before I finished watching Gurren Lagann? Because I could 100% finish watching Gurren Lagann, but I just chose not to. And I continually choose not to by going back to Netflix and watching stand-up specials and other anime. I think it has to do with something of, not necessarily even time constraint. I just think that maybe sometimes ridiculous animes have their choice and have their audience. And I 100% believe that I am not that audience. Like, for example, I can't read manga. It just is not interesting to me. But I know for a fact that Toradora, another anime that I watched, has a manga, and I've read that manga, and I couldn't finish reading it. But I did like the actual anime. So what I think it comes down to is something taking itself seriously? If yes, then I will probably watch it. If something is taking itself a little bit goofy, then I'm not gonna finish watching it. I think that's something personal to everybody, and it's not just me. I think it's just statistically everybody feels that way. If something takes itself seriously, then you're gonna continue watching it till the end. If there's a lot of fan service, if there's like a lot of these different things that are happening just because they need to happen to sucker people in to keep watching it, but there's no plot developments, there's none of that, then some people might not finish watching it. Take Dragon Ball Z for example. Dragon Ball Z, or just the Dragon Ball series, took itself seriously. But however, a lot of fighting style things that try to poke a lot of fun at Dragon Ball have not succeeded. Like the previous example I gave with Gundam. It is a well-in-depth series that has a lot to do with it. But none of it is silly. None of it is, out of ordinary, and none of it is out of place. It is, however, very dense. So if you don't start from the beginning, you're not going to know what's going on. And I feel like that's something that happens. The things like Inuyasha, Naruto, those series are very, very dense. And if you don't start watching them from the beginning of those series, you're not going to enjoy that. You're not going to have fun. That being said, I believe Pokemon, if you watch it from any series ever, you will probably have a good time getting the grasp of what's going on. It is very much the beginner series of anime. There's not a lot of lore going on, and you can basically pick up what's going on from series to series. It's not like Dragon Ball where you have to 100% know what people's movesets are before you go into that. What time period is this? Is it in this time period? Does this person have this move yet? Does this happen here or here? It's not that. Pokemon 100% is if you start from the beginning of one season, you already are basically an introductory course. That's why I believe Pokemon is the entry level of anime. And I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Do you guys think that that is the truth? Do you guys think that what I said maybe is true? What are your opinions? Do you like these goofy animes, the goofy animes that don't take themselves seriously? Or are you more of a serious anime person? Or do you like, maybe even just, divulging into maybe some that do both? Let me know. If you guys liked the discussion, love me and I'll love you back, because I will see you guys next time.